Gosh. All right. Well, we just got clear, so we are good to go. So my name is Shelby, and I will be your safari driver today. We're going to get started here in the Little Ituri Forest. Now, animals over here tend to use camouflage to blend in with their surroundings. So let's see if we can find anything. On the right-hand side, that dark brown animal, that is the okapi. Now, the okapi has markings that are very similar to that of the zebra, but they're actually closer related to the giraffe. They have a very similar bone structure. They are very reclusive animals, so reclusive, in fact, that they were not discovered by Westerners up until 1901. Up until then, they were thought to be a myth. All right, up ahead of us on the right hand side, these sawdust colored animals, these guys are the greater kudu. Now we can tell that they are females because they don't have any horns. Males' horns normally reach about 6 feet in length. All right, on the left-hand side, you can see him right back over there. He looks kind of like a giant rock, but that is the black rhino right there. You can see him wiggling his ears. Now, these guys are about 3,000 pounds. It is pretty cool that we are seeing one today. There are less than 5,000 left in the entire world. They are being poached for their horns. A little bit further back up here, these rust-colored animals. Those guys are the bongos. Now, the bongos are known as the ghosts of the forest. Their horns are pushed back like that to help them run throughout the brush. We are now heading on out into the Safi River. Now, the Safi River is home to more of our aquatic animals, such as the hippo and the Nile crocodile. Alright, if we look over here on the left-hand side, there are a couple hippos that are swimming there in the water. Now, a group of hippos is called a bloat. They normally can hold their breath for up to 8 minutes, at which point in time they will rise to the top, take a big gulp of air, and sink right on down to the bottom. Now, hippos spend a majority of the day in the water. They normally will only come out at night to graze. These birds on the island right there, those guys are the pink-backed pelicans. They get their name because during mating season, their backs will turn pink. Their wingspan is about 9 feet in length, which is about the length of the canopy above our heads. Keep a look on the left-hand side for the baby elephant. Not elephant, hippo. It's been a long day. I know. Now, a newborn hippo is about 85 pounds when they are first born. There actually is a hippo right there. Now, oh, and there's another one right there too. Now, that noise that they're making is a wheeze honk noise. That is how they communicate with each other, so that they know where each other is at. On the left-hand side, these guys are the Nile crocodile. Now, they normally tend to keep their mouths open to help themselves cool down. Make sure that you are sitting. Make sure that you are sitting. I would not want to fall in there if I were you. Now, they normally reach about 16 feet in length, which is about as long as a giraffe is tall. Despite their mean demeanor, they're actually great parents. They will normally roll their eggs around in their mouth, that way making them easier for them to crack. And that way it makes it easier for when the babies hatch. And a majority of their diet actually consists of fish. We're heading on out to the savannah now. Now the savannah is home to more of our famous animals, such as the giraffe, the lion, and the cheetah. But before we head on out there, if you take a moment and look on the right-hand side of the vehicle at this funny-looking tree. Kind of looks like an upside-down tree. That is the baobab tree. Now the baobab tree is leafless about 9 months of the year. Their trunks can hold about 10,000 gallons of water, which gives it the nickname the Tree of Life. Appears that we do have some traffic up ahead. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means that animals are in the ride path and don't necessarily want to move. Most of the time it is either a rhino or a giraffe. They are both very stubborn animals. Despite reaching speeds of 40 miles an hour, they rarely show that. All right, on our right-hand side back here, those guys are the Ankole cattle. Now those horns look very heavy, but they're actually very lightweight. The inside is made up of a hollow honeycomb structure, which helps keep them cool. They're about 6 feet in length, tip to tip. Those guys are related to the domestic cow. The olden days, farmers would keep them as a sign of wealth. As we make our way around this bend, keep your eyes peeled on the left-hand side. This is where predators tend to hang out. Normally like this cave up ahead. Alright, you can see a bunch of them back here in the corner. Looks like they're huddled up trying to keep warm. Now these guys are the African painted dogs, and they have 4 toes. They have a very high stamina. They will normally chase their prey till they collapse in exhaustion. And their success rate is about 91%. More so during the warmer temperatures, because normally they just cuddle back in the corner a majority of the time. But yeah, back here a little bit closer to the tree line, those guys are the sable antelope. They're very aggressive, very territorial. In a fight or flight scenario, they will almost always choose to fight. Up ahead of us is a giraffe. We can tell that this guy is a Maasai giraffe because of his messy pattern. Giraffes normally reach about 18 feet tall. Right next to him is a termite mound. Now, giraffes and elephants will use them as a scratching post, but once they get worn down, some of our smaller animals, like the springbok, will use them as a perch in which to look out for predators. Now, giraffes spend about 18 hours of the day eating. They normally sleep about 30 minutes every day. Their hearts are about 25 pounds, 2 feet across. Giraffe pregnancy is about 14 months, at which point in time they will give birth in a standing position. So one of the first things that a baby giraffe experiences is a 6-foot fall to the ground. But despite that, they are up and walking within that first hour that they are born. Now, a group of giraffe is called a tower, so I guess a scared group of giraffe would be considered a tower of terror. Up ahead of us on the left, these tan-colored animals, those guys are the springbok. Now, they get their name because they like to spring about 6 feet up in the air. They can leap about 13 feet forward. So hypothetically, they could leap over this truck if they wanted to. I have yet to see one do that, but you know, it could happen.
stable it is.
Keep your eyes peeled on the left-hand side. There are a couple more giraffes coming up.
I just do it live out there at the store and pick it up. It's just uploads automatically. A lot of people are working and stuff.
Also, on the right-hand side, those silver-colored animals, those guys are the white-bearded wildebeest. They have a very high population density, second only to humans. At night, they will sleep in rows and from all different directions. That way, they're able to keep a watchful eye out for predators. Also, another cool fact of the wildebeest is they will learn all the surrounding animals' warning calls. That way, if a predator does surface, they're able to alert one another. Mainly lions. Seen a couple broken trees up ahead, which can only mean one thing. We're heading on out into elephant territory. So keep your eyes peeled. And it appears that we did not have to look too far to find an elephant. There is a male African elephant right here on the right-hand side. Now we can tell that he is a male because he's out here all by himself. When males reach about 13 years of age, they will head out alone. If you look at his back, you can tell that there's kind of some dust and dirt and mud. Well, elephants use that as a form of sunscreen. Rhinos normally do that as well. Helps them keep cool. Keep your eyes peeled on the left-hand side for the mandrills. I can see them right there. You can see them right next to that tree. Now, when fully grown, mandrills are about 100 pounds. Their colors will become more prominent if they are excited or angry. With them, it kind of depends. Normally, it's at least a couple months. Now, I do know a shortcut to where the female elephants like to hang out. We do have to go across another old bridge, but lucky for us, there are no crocodiles underneath this one. I just hope that the rope and duct tape holding this bridge up is strong enough to get us across. So let's keep our fingers crossed on that one. A couple more signs of elephant activity. There are some tusk marks in the red clay. Now, elephants eat the red clay, gives them vitamins and nutrients that they don't normally receive in their everyday diet. Elephants tend to eat about 350 pounds of vegetation daily, then wash that down with at least 40 gallons of water. There are a couple females right here on the left-hand side. See if we can get a closer look. Now, an elephant pregnancy is about 2 years, and when first born, a baby elephant is about 200 pounds. And speaking of baby elephants, he's right there hanging out next to mom. Kind of looks like a giant boulder, but with ears. Another way that elephants keep cool is they normally flap their ears back and forth. I know that. There's one of the older females right here on the left-hand side. We can find a flamingo. No, normally the oldest female is the one that's in charge of all the elephants. So normally the females hang out by themselves, or in a group, and the males hang out by themselves. On the left-hand side, these guys are the greater flamingo. Now they get that bright pink color from the brine shrimp that they eat. It takes about a year to get that color. When they are first hatched, they are actually gray. They normally will stand about 5 feet tall. They'll hang out in groups of up to 30,000. Also, is it just me, or does that island that they're standing on kind of look like a giant Mickey? All right, the left-hand side back there, they kind of look like giant rocks. Those guys are the white rhinos. Now, they are a lot bigger than the rhino that we saw earlier today. These guys are about 5,000 pounds. Their jawline is more square, whereas the one that we saw earlier had a more circular jawline. No, they're mainly all females here. Yep. And lucky for these guys, they are not endangered. We're now heading on out into big cat territory, so keep your eyes peeled for cheetahs and lions. Also on the left-hand side back here laying down, these guys are the Bontebok. Now there was a point in time when there were only 17 Bontebok left in existence, but a group of farmers was able to get together and was able to save the entire species. All right, if we keep our eyes peeled on the left-hand side, I am seeing a cheetah right up ahead on the left. It's laying down, kind of looks like a giant rock. See if we can get a better look. Now, cheetahs reach speeds of about 65 miles an hour in about 3 seconds flat. Yep, do you guys see him? He's right back here. Kind of looks like a log. You can see his ears twitching. Now, cheetahs are the only ones of the big cats that do their hunting during the day. All the rest of them will hunt at night. Up ahead of us is the Kopi Rock Formation. This is where lions tend to hang out. Now, it will be really, really cool if we do see a lion today. They are extremely nocturnal. They normally spend about 18 hours of the day sleeping. It's the opposite of the giraffes. All right, I actually am seeing a couple lions right up here. Yep, looks like there's a female over here close to that boulder, and then there's also one a little bit further down, right next to the male.
Up by a tree up there. To the right of the tree. Yeah, it's that tree that's right in the middle.
Now, females do a majority of the hunting. Males normally tend to stay home and take care of the cubs and the territory. Their eyesight is about 6 times better at night, and they have padded paws, which helps them sneak around silently. So put that and the eyesight together, and I would not want to mess with them. The left-hand side, that is a warthog. Now, warthogs are related to the domestic pig. You can see right back there. He kind of looks like a little stump.
See, that's orange right there.
They are burrowers. They'll normally burrow into holes backwards, leaving those razor-sharp tusks removed. That way they're able to ward off predators. On our right-hand side, those guys aren't ostriches. We can tell that they are female because they have gray feathers. They normally reach speeds of about 40 miles an hour. A little bit further back there, there is a water buck. Now, like their name suggests, they like hanging out next to the water. When their coats get wet, it emits a kind of oily, greasy substance, which helps ward off predators. Under that tree, you may have noticed a batch of ostrich eggs. Those are about 3 pounds each. 250-pound man could stand on them and they will not break. They are, in fact, that durable. My guess is that Mom was the ostrich that we just saw. We're now heading on out into Magadi Glen. Now, Magadi Glen is the most recent addition to the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. It's made possible by generous contributions to the Disney Conservation Fund. Alright, while we're over here, keep your eyes peeled for the scimitar horned oryx. They can go 9 months of the year without water. And there he is. He's laying down all the way back there, kind of by that gate. Keep your eyes peeled on the right-hand side as we go by. Yeah, but they can go 9 months of the year without water, and they will not sweat until their body reaches 115 degrees. Alright, well that is just about going to do it for today. Did you guys have fun?
Yeah.
Well, that is good to hear. What were some of your guys' favorite things that you saw?
Cheetah.
Nice. Well, if you guys want to see more animals, I would highly recommend